I'm really very grateful that you took out time from your busy schedule to share about your experiences here with My Positivity Matters. And before we start the session, I just like to understand your thought process in terms of like, where were you before you joined our 8-week coaching program with Nivedita, and sort of like the challenges and, like your mindset, how was it? And like now after the coaching, how you're feeling, right? Like, so overall, like what was your experience of the coaching?
Sure. So first off, before that, so I would really like to thank you to introducing me to Nivedita. I think I was at a point where, I needed some guidance. So just to give a background, so I was in US during pandemic, difficult times, staying away from family. And there was a lot of, work pressure and then a lot of constant pressure, whether I want to move back to India. So those kind of things were going on in my mind. And finally, when, I decided to move back to India. So it's a big change. Because I was there in US for, around 6-7 years and moving back to India, Bangalore. So it's a different, ecosystem is different. So it's a difficult thing. So I was coping up with, with my relationship. I was coping up with my, work. Where I would join and, what the future, what kind of role I want. So it was like a lot of things were going on in my mind. And I was, at a point where I thought that there's something going wrong. And I had that feeling that, I need to pause and, and kind of introspect where I'm going in my life and where I want to go in my life. So that control, all of a sudden, I thought it's no longer with me. And that's where, I'm really grateful that you introduced me to the spirituality. And even in the past, we had some discussion, but I never used to believe. And maybe my time was not, I wasn't ready for that, right? Or maybe I never had a belief. So this time it was a bit different, and I felt like, I needed to do something about it. And that's where, you introduced me to Nivedita, and I'm so grateful for that. And, right from beginning, I felt like she had a very positive vibe. And there were a lot of things that I felt like it was magical. The diagnosis, the mantras and, the things that she told me. And there was one time that I felt like there is a change, and I know exactly when it was. So what happened was I couldn't sleep for a lot of, nights. I was not able to sleep. But, she told me to do something, and I did exactly what she told me. And then that night itself, not even few nights, that night itself, I got a very sound sleep. And I was so relaxed. And that's where my belief went really strong. I never had a second thought. I was like completely devoted. So that's in short, like what I felt initially. And then there were like a lot of areas. Just saying a sentence, she was able to pick it up that I'm struggling in this area. And she was able to pinpoint what exactly it is. And there are a lot of, she's very knowledgeable, and I am not a lot of, I don't have a lot of knowledge on all these areas, but the way she explained, the way she articulated the things, it was very easy for me to understand. So, I really appreciate, I'm very thankful to you and Nivedita for that.
That's really amazing, and I can really resonate with that, because, and also a lot of other clients, they share similar experiences, and so it's very well you've explained that. So that's amazing. Thank you for that. So in terms of the results, like in what areas you like got benefit, like you told me initially, like maybe a few days before, that you can see the change in each and every area of your life, right? How would you explain that, right? Like what actually like brought in that? Like what was the element that, triggered all of the changes? Like if you can share like it's a very pinpointed question, but I just want to bring that here.
Sure. So it started with my relationship, personal relationship with my wife, and, even with my parents, so I think that in school or even in college, we are taught to learn about different subjects and how to join a company, how to work on a company. And it's everything what you see from your eyes. That is what we are taught, right? Our entire life. And what she taught me is to, train your mind, basically what you cannot see from your eyes. So it's something that I've never thought about it, and nobody has taught me. So it's like the first time she told me that you have to control your mind, you have to train your mind. The mind shouldn't control you. And that is something that resonated with me, because I felt, all of a sudden I felt that whatever is going wrong with me, I cannot blame anyone. It's something within me, and
Yeah.
that's where I felt like now the control is back to me. Now I have to do something, and that was a great learning. And then there are things like how you would communicate better, and then learn how to respond rather than react. Those kind of things. When she taught me, and all of a sudden I saw changes, with my discussion with my parents or with my wife. Like it was instant, right? So I don't have to do anything special. I mean, if you train yourself, if you train your mind, I see that there's a proper change in the person you're working with, right? So that was in my relationship. I saw like a lot of things, right? And then even my wife, she really appreciated that I see changes in you. So there was a lot of validation as well, that you are going great, right? So, and it was not like big changes, in the small day-to-day changes. She was able to see that. Then coming to the career, I was in a very good position in US, and then when I came to India, I had few things that was not working out for me, and it was being delayed. And again, career wise also, I was waiting for someone to just come back and give it to me. But as soon as I took the control, and I not only got a very good offer that met my expectation, it exceeded my expectation. It has never happened. So I strongly believe it's not a coincidence. So I was expecting, when I said that I am expecting this much of a package from the company, I got 20% more than what I asked for. And it was something that has never happened, and that's where, I learned that the delay that happened taught me patience, because I was never, I was always occupied since my school days. And then I got into college, I got into a job, I moved to US from India. I was never like, I never got a time to, learn patience, because I got everything very quickly. And this time I thought that it took 3 months, 4 months, and I got something good, but it taught me, how to be patient. And that's where I think that one more, thing that Nivedita, she always tells me, is you have to think like, why is it happening for me instead of why is it happening to me? And I did that in practice. Like, I'm getting all these delays from these job offers. It's not happening to me. It's trying to teach something for me, right? And that's what I mean. I felt like significant change. So both in my career and my relationship, I am like, I'm very confident. So it's the control back to me. That's what I feel.
Yeah. I think 2, 3 points you raised, very valid. First of all, like in school and colleges, you're never taught about these things. That's one of the biggest problem. And I feel like, that needs to be handled, because, you can see the problem right away. Like when the kid starts to go to college and later on, you see how the emotional state of the youth is right now. It's terrible, right? So that's something, it's all because we think that we don't have any control, right? We are powerless.
Correct.
That's where the victim mindset comes into, role play. And then we think that everybody is out there to get me. We don't understand that we have played some role here. And that's why it's happening like that, right? Nothing happens just randomly. Nothing is happening randomly. And that understanding makes you very, very powerful, because now that you have the power to shift things, right? So that's really amazing. And the other thing that you shared about, like, overall, in all the areas you felt the difference, right? Because see, we all do have stressful situations. We all, like, we cannot just pretend that everything is good. Like, that's how you see, when you see social media, you see that everybody is happy. It's not like that. No one is like that. You cannot have, this is not against the nature's cycle, right? Because if something is going up, it has to come down. That's how in life happens, right? So in those tough times, what mindset we should have, and that's what the coaching brings in, right, for people. And
You're right.
that was really a good point and takeaway from this whole thing. My other question is that, see, you come from a tech background, right? So you come from like, that background where, first of all, tech, the other thing is you were like sort of non-believer, right? Like you did not understand these concepts, like anything that was not logical or scientific or research based, you used to discard that, right? Like, why should you believe in that? That was the thing that I kept hearing from you. So I would be very interested if you can share something so that other people who are like similar, like a lot of people are like you right nowadays. I mean, I talk to so many people and I get similar response from them. So what would you say to them? Like, what would be your message to them?
So that's a very valid point. And so, like, I didn't get into tech or I didn't get a job without a coach. So what I mean is, even, I did my engineering, a lot of great teachers, they helped me to become what I am today, right? So we are always taught to learn things that you can do at your job and you can do well. So that is something that is like outside, that you can see. And then, even in job, when you join any tech industry, you are given training. It's not like you day one, you're just doing things. You're given a training that you have seniors who would help you. If you're stuck somewhere, you have internet, you can Google and do things. So the same way I thought that if something is wrong, if I'm not doing good in my life, I need a coach. And this belief never came to my mind. I always thought, I mean, why do I need coach? I mean, there's like medias and stuff. I mean, there's all sort of, prejudices. So what I thought is that if I have to work on my, in my personal life, I need a coach, first of all, who's an expert, right? And thanks to you, introducing Nivedita. And that's where I thought that the kind of coaching that she gave me, especially the personal coaching that she gave me, was helping me, because previously what used to happen, I was waiting for the jobs, right? So what used to happen was, Monday I used to be very happy that maybe this week I'll get an offer, right? Because I was waiting for someone. By Friday, I used to be very sad, oh, this week is also over. Mm-hmm. And what a coincidence, all my sessions with Nivedita was with on Friday evening. Mm-hmm. And when I was down, I used to have a call and my mood used to just change all of a sudden. Mm-hmm. And I was like, and I was not hopeful. I was confident that it would happen. It wasn't like I was hoping, right? So that victim mindset that you said and all those things. So that really helped me move from week to week and I felt better. So coming back to your question, I think a lot of people in the tech industry, they might realize, they might not even realize, especially during the pandemic. But I think everyone at a point in life definitely need a personal coaching. They cannot do it on their own. Because now that I have done this session, I know the things that she taught me, it's impossible for me to even, think on my own or even Google, because you have a lot of information on Google, YouTube, and you don't know whether it's going to work and whether you can do it religiously. But it's like personal, one-to-one, face-to-face, that she's talking to you, you are talking to her, there is no one else. That's a different game, I think.
So just like when you do the schooling, you just don't, is it possible to do whatever you've learned in school also, just doing all that yourself, right? No help, nothing, right? Is possible? No, it's not possible. And similarly, when you go to medical doctor, is it possible to cure your diseases just because it's physical? It doesn't make a difference, because everything is not physical. What you see, you can't see air, you can't see electricity, right? It doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So there are a lot of things beyond physical also. And we have to really, now is the time where a lot of research has happened and people are talking, scientists are talking about it. And if you go and research, you'll understand that, right? That part of things. It's just that we are so closed to that aspect of the understanding of, beings. So I feel like, the only thing that can help here is just that first step, that one step you take and show up, right? And after that, you have experienced it, and how like your thoughts have changed about spirituality. And what is spirituality? Just non-physical. That's it. It's not like some religious thing or thing. It's just non-physical part of it. That's it. That's what spirituality means. So
Exactly. Sorry to interrupt, but before these sessions, I was like little things I wasn't even aware. Things would happen to me and I used to get frustrated, be it traffic or whatever, right? But now there is a certain level of calmness, even when I drive in traffic situations, and I can see things that I never used to see. So that kind of awareness, I have it, and that's addictive. It's addictive. You want more of it.
yes,
So
yes. No, but your attitude also here is a big factor, because see, in 2 months, like it's just been 2 months, right? It's not like 6 months or 1 year kind of a time period, right? So I feel obviously the person's attitude, how he shows up, fully committed, dedicated, and like doing whatever they have to, right? Like that's what also matters a lot. That's what Nivedita keeps telling me also, right? Like I mean, if the clients come, they have to really be coachable. And that's what you did. So kudos to you for that. And really happy to hear that. The other thing is that, I wanted to also ask about your, like, what is now your take on, because this question a lot of people ask, about being religious and spiritual, like you're spiritual, right? So what do you think about that now?
sure.
Yeah.
So I come from a middle class Hindu Brahmin family, right?
Mm-hmm.
So religious wise, to me, religion was, getting up in the morning, taking shower, and then, saying, the puja and the worship that you do, because that's what I have seen. And to me, that was religion, right? Following your religion and the things. And that is fine. I mean, you can do religious things, you can do all these things, whatever you've been taught from your family. You can continue to do that. That's up to you. Spirituality is something different, I feel. So, what spirituality to me is basically, it's not like you would meditate and you would have zero thoughts. I mean, it's nothing like that. It's all overrated over the internet.
Yeah.
What spirituality to me means is that you can notice little things and you can think rather than you can react. What I mean is that it helps you to have a control, right? So a lot of times you're frustrated at why is it happening, why is it happening. What spirituality to me is, at that moment you can think that cribbing or complaining about it won't help you in life, right? It would basically complicate things. Take a step back and think that what is in your control and what I can do about it. That would take, so that thought process spirituality has taught me, right? And the other aspect is laws of attraction that Nivedita taught me, and that I have experienced. I mean, it's a very strong feeling. So I used to crave and I used to have negative, and I used to think that this person, because of the person in front of me, I'm feeling negative. But now it's totally different. I know that the negative aura I have created. It's
Yes.
not the other person.
Yeah.
So if you create this positive aura, not only the other person is going to be positive, the other person is going to be, they want to be with you.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. So that spirituality is, so to me, spirituality is training your mind. I mean, that's how I take it.
Yeah. That's what actually it is, right? Because see, nothing is beyond your mind. Everything lies in your mind only. It's just how you focus, what you feel, because your mind is like a magnet. And what you feel, like if it's negative or positive, whatever you feel, that's why feelings are very important. And I mean, personally, I feel whenever I go in the negative zone, like, because it's very normal, right? Everybody goes through the phases. But one thing I always remember that, okay, now I need to do some practices, the tools that I've learned, because I know I can switch. It'll take some time, not instantly, because obviously you need to be evolved that much when you like in a span of seconds, right? But it's the power is with you, provided you have understanding of these tools and the practices. And obviously, you have a good guide like Nivedita, for example, right? It can be anybody, right? There's so many coaches out there. But the problem is that we Google, right? Everything is on internet. And sometimes we just go and talk to friends. And what happens when we talk to our friends? They will tell you based on what they see, right? And that's very, very important because they have their own set of experiences. So they will share like what they have experienced, and it will not be the good or bad. I just feel it's not going to be the best thing for you because it's coming from their own perceptions of life, right? If they have seen so many failures, they will tell you, don't try this. You're going to fail. But if they have seen a lot of success, they will say, okay, try it. You can succeed. So what is the truth here, right? The truth is these are all the perceptions. Nothing is a fact. So I feel like, definitely having a coach is someone like a blind spot monitor. They see something.
Definitely.
And that's why you were not able to see those things. You kept thinking that this is right. This is right. Until the point where you felt like, okay, you need now somebody to guide you because something is not right. Right. And
correct.
So that point of time, like Nivedita was there and she was able to identify those blocks. And that's what I keep telling people. We all, in fact, coaches also have blocks. They also need coaches, and the other thing is that if you want to have a mediocre life, it's fine. You can just do some motivation session and maybe watch an inspirational video or something like that. But if you really want to up the game and be your best version, you need a skilled coach, right? To make a huge difference in whatever your potential and whatever you can do, right? So, so I think pretty much that those were my questions, and if you have any other idea, any thought, like what do you suggest, what we can do more to reach out more people like you coming from this background, like if you have any ideas, please do keep sharing that. It will be really valuable for us.
Sure. So one last thing I would like to really add is, so it's not like you would, get this coaching and all of a sudden you'll be fantastic in all aspects of your life. Yeah. So I just want to make it clear what happens is it's totally based on your mindset. Just like if you have a good attitude, as you said, you'll do good. Yeah. But other than that, what Nivedita has also helped me is definitely there is going to be a downtime in life. I mean, it's a circle in life, right? So she is going to help you to get good things in your life, achieve your goals. But at the same time, if you're not able to do something, there are few things which is out of your control. So if that happens, she makes you prepared that you are going to be prepared even to handle that scenario. So that is again training your mind that if something goes wrong, you can recover quickly. That is something that I have learned, and I'm trying to improve on that side as well.
Yes. Yeah, it's like preparation, right? Like you have to be trained. Suddenly you cannot do, like, for example, walking. You took so much time to learn walking. Just one day,
exactly.
If you step on the road, can you walk? You cannot. Similarly, in life, like in those times, you have to be well trained so that in that hard time, you can really, do whatever you need to do, right? And that is what the training means here. So, and so I think with that lovely note, we can end the session, but thank you so much for your time and all the amazing inputs, and looking forward to getting more and more inputs from you. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.